Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to Great Lakes Helicopter. As you can see, that is who we are, and hopefully today we'll be able to answer as many questions that you have regarding our training program. This is going to be geared a little bit more towards the Conestoga program rather than just the general. We do have a general side. Most of the information does relate to that. So a quick overview. We're going to talk about the licensing, the commercial, the Conestoga and the general program, the specific information for the Conestoga program, the course acceptance requirements, career options, just to give you a general idea of once you get your license, the path you can actually go down and the different options and the different locations. Ratings of programs that we offer here at Great Lakes, costs associated, which is obviously a big one, financing options, which obviously relates to costs, and then frequently asked questions. If anybody has questions while we're going on, feel free, stick a hand up, find me a question. Hopefully you're going to have some, otherwise it's going to be a very, very quiet audience. Okay, so the license. It's a commercial helicopter pilot license. It's a straightforward, one-stop license. 100-hour requirement, there's some ground school requirement, there's a written test, there's a flight test, and you get your commercial license. Now we do run a 2-year program in association with a college. The students will receive the General Arts and Science Aviation Diploma along with a commercial helicopter license, and this particular start date is September only. The college program will only start in September. It runs for 2 years. College. Obviously, students must come into the program focused and ready to work. It's not easy. You're doing 2 courses at the same time. You've got to focus on the college work and then obviously the flight training. We focus primarily on the flight training, and so we see you a couple of times a week or 3 times a week, depending on which year you're in year 1 or year 2. And then obviously you've got all your college work and have to meet all your college criteria. Make sure you have a financial plan in order, and that's a big issue. We've seen students in the past get halfway through the flight training and go, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to get my rest of my flight money from. So make sure. And the big thing about financing is if you have it set and you know it's organized, it takes a burden, it takes a relief off your studying. And there's nothing worse than when you're studying having to worry about where the money's coming from because it detracts from your studying. We do enforce benchmarks. This is a college program. We try and hold you to a higher standard. We do expect a good standard from you, and we will work as hard as you will to try and achieve that. There is a contract. Joanne will talk about, or possibly talk about the contract. So the course acceptance requirements. You've got to be 18 years or older. You have to have a Class 1 aviation medical. You can't go to your general practitioner to get the aviation medical. You've got to go to an aviation doctor. Now, you've got to be English language proficient in reading and writing. There is an English language proficiency test. If English is your first or second language, normally it's not a problem. If you understand me right now, you should have a problem getting it. You've also got to accept it into the Conestoga 2-year General Arts and Science Aviation. That it has nothing to do with Great Lakes. That is an acceptance from the college. You've got to meet their criteria. Now, career options. If you go this route, what do you expect? What are you going to do? Well, we don't have steps. We don't have ladders like our fixed-wing counterparts do. It's not a case of you get your license, you become an instructor, then you become provincial, and then you do this, that, and the other. With helicopters, you go any direction possible. There's all sorts of types of work, instructing, spray aerial work, ambulance. You can read the whole list there. There's a whole array of full-time, part-time, all different types of jobs. Now, a lot of these jobs will require some form of experience. Now, how you gain that, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But the big thing about what we do is it's very, very varied. A lot of people we see come in and they go, air ambulance, that's what I see. I see these orange machines flying around, that's what I want to do. And when you actually get into it and you get involved in this industry, you start to realize it's an option, it's a step. It could be a goal later on in life, or it could be something that's going to take you possibly offshore or international. So it's not always cut and dried as we mostly perceive it to be. Now, with us specifically, with Great Lakes, we offer 3 different types of helicopters to train on. The options are the R-22, that's an Asterix, and we'll come to that a little bit in a second. the R-44 and the Bell 26 Jet Ranger. They are very much the staple helicopters that are used for flight training pretty much across the world, not just Canada. The R-22, due to the design of the 22 and the limitations, and that is this little thing here, because of the size and weight of the machine, we're not going to be able to put every prospective pilot into an R-22 because of the weight and the size of the machine. So, the Great Lakes, if you're over 6'2", and most people if they're 6'2" and greater tend to be pushing that 200-pound bracket, the 22 isn't going to be an option. We've got to take that out, and you're going to have to go into a bigger machine. In terms of ourselves, there's me, sitting next to one of our students. There's myself and Adam at this current moment in time. There's two of us. We're a pretty small flight school, but we're both Class 1 instructors. And what Class 1 instructors means is we have the highest level of instruction in Canada. They are 4 levels of instruction. You start as a Class 4 as an entry-level instructor. You get some experience, you go up to a 3, then to a 2, then to a 1. It takes time, it takes experience, and it's a process. When you're a Class 1, you should know what you're doing. And we can impart, hopefully, as good a knowledge as anybody else in the country in terms of what we do. We also do our in-house examining. I'm a Transport Canada examiner, so everything else is in-house. Rotor Services. This is our parent company. Rotor Services is our maintenance facility. They're around long before we were. The nice thing is they've been servicing and looking after aircraft for 25 years. And the nice thing about having them there is if we have any issue whatsoever, we call the guys over, they sort it out there and then, which means we suffer from very little downtime. Weather is the only thing that we have issues with, and every form of aviation struggles the same way with weather. But in terms of maintenance, it's all done in-house, and that's one of the nicest things. There's no subcontracting. We don't have to fly the machines to another airport to get anything done. It's all done from within.
Costs associated with this program. Conestoga College, if you go the Conestoga College route, you are required to pay Conestoga directly for their tuition fees. And if you visit Conestoga's website, there's a whole list of their tuition. So you just go into General Arts and Science, Aviation, and it will show you how much you're going to be paying each year. It's a 2-year program, so I believe you pay, so it's 4 semesters, so I believe you can pay in increments of 4 for each semester. But I'm not exactly sure of what the current rate is, but you can definitely check that out at Conestoga.
So, if the decision is made that you actually want to do this, to train at Great Lakes we require the following. An interview with the school administrator, Joanne, probably attended one of our sessions, so you are here. An enrollment application form, your aviation medical, which we suggest before you decide to go down this path, it is well worth getting your aviation medical sorted out first. Here's a myth, or one that people tend to ask is, do I have to do an airplane license first? Absolutely not. I never did. I couldn't fly an airplane if it bit me. Most students don't have any previous experience. You don't have to fly an airplane. Now, if you do have an airplane license and want to convert, absolutely not a problem at all. But do you have to go and do it first? No, not whatsoever. So, here's the big one. Once you have your license, what do I do? A lot of people will skirt around this. It's not an easy answer. But we'll try and give you an idea of what to expect. This is the brutal reality of it. First of all, positive attitude being flexible is a must. It is a very rewarding career. It is an awful lot of fun. But it does take a lot of patience to land that first job. Most graduates will tend to start off working for a helicopter operator upon graduation as ground crew. What do we mean by ground crew? Well, you're to use an army term, you're the grunts. You're the guys working on the ground. No company, any company, is going to turn around and say to you, you look like a nice guy. That machine's worth $4 million. Here's the keys, go fly it. It's not going to happen, right? Not as a 100-hour pilot. They're going to want to know who you are, how you work, how you think, whether you're dependable, whether you turn up at work on time, whether you argue, whether you talk back. They're going to want to know the type of character you are. So when they get to know you and you get to know them and the fit works, Then they'll turn around and go, oh, you know, we're doing a little bit of a ferry flight. We're going to take the aircraft from here to there. We're going to throw the dual controls in, jump in. Those blades are turning, you're in control, you start logging time. The more time you build, the more opportunities arise, and therefore the steps go up from there. Once you start flying and the company then trusts you, the world's your oyster, you can go on from there. Ferry flights are a great way for new licensed pilots to build time. And that's what we do for a lot of the guys that we take on. If we're going to do, we have a spray operation, we do frost control, we do sightseeing flights, we do rides and events. If we've got to go, so let's say we've got rides and events up near Collingwood, not a concern. But if I've got a junior pilot, somebody who needs time, again, I'll stick the controls in the machine, guess what? You're going to fly. That's pretty much about it from me. I'm pretty sure, hopefully there might be some questions. We do have a Facebook page. We try and put up photos and comments, and we put up all our congratulations for guys passing their flight tests and bits and pieces. Anytime you want to contact us, our numbers, names are all on the information sheets. We do the introductory flights. They start at $250 on the little 22 for those that can meet the requirement for the 22. And anybody considering who hasn't been up in a helicopter, it is worth doing before you make any decisions. Come see what it's like. Come fly with us. We'll take